30 Years of Watchtower Slave, Chapter 22, entitled A Warning. So, Jehovah's Witnesses, you're used to worshiping in the same way the Israelites were accustomed to worshiping. They clamored for a king in the days of Samuel and for a monarchy in order to be like all the other nations around themselves. In 3 short generations, from Saul to David to Solomon, the Israelites had become, just as Samuel had warned, slaves to the king. And at the death of Solomon, the Israelites were so disgusted with the monarchy that 10 northern tribes rebelled. So this is another form of theocracy or totalitarian form of worship. It has brainwashed the personal religion of Jesus, from whom all those who have become slaves to the Watchtower. Thus, it only claims for itself the function of the Holy Spirit while it pushes Jesus Christ aside. The Watchtower Society has nullified for those in its ranks the relationship of having Jesus as its mediator by creating a secondary slave class, which back then were called the Jonadabs. Today it is the great crowd of other sheep, those who don't have the earthly hope, or those who do have a earthly hope. And again, most witnesses will deny that Jesus Christ is not their mediator, and that is not what Watchtower teaches, but you can prove to them in their own literature that Watchtower teaches Jesus is the mediator only for the 144,000. So they make these Jonadabs, or great crowd, hewers of wood and carriers of water, slaves as it was back in those days, slaves to the organization or the New World Society. They transform people into kingdom publishers. To the witnesses, they don't blink an eye when they hear the word publisher, but to most people, anyone that's not a witness, publisher means someone that's pushing books, writing books, selling books, so on and so forth. They don't realize what they really are. The witnesses establish a pattern of works that supplant the salvation of Jesus Christ. As a matter of fact, their own publications say, "Come to God's Spirit-directed organization for salvation." This system of works include counting field service time, reporting of field service time, and it takes away the personal life of individuals and uses that time to build up the organization, build up the book selling in order to get money contributions to support the organization, and then the use of the 7 steps of indoctrination. It's really what the author calls a mechanical routine. And me, for myself, I could say that I was a sleepwalking Jehovah's Witness, and it did become a mechanical routine for me. The Watchtower slaves now walk in the flesh according to the rules laid down by flesh, not according to the rules left behind by Jesus Christ. The Watchtower has many, many unspoken man-made rules. The witnesses do not study the word of truth, which alone would mean their salvation. Instead, they study Watchtower books, booklets, and magazines containing approximately 6.5% of scriptures. At the same time, these 6.5% of scriptures are misapplied and edited and published and twisted by the Watchtower Society. They built an organization which is to last 1,000 years, which they hope will become a New World Society. So the system of proselytizing works this way. Again, we'll talk about those 7 steps. Number 1, buy out their time for Watchtower by selling books. Number 2, visit all book purchasers in backcalls. Today we know that term to be called a return visit. Number 3, arrange for a home book study, or today as it's called, a home Bible study. Number 4, lead their victims into an area study for brainwashing and indoctrinations. Today it's a systematic study of the Bible, as the witness calls it, and it's really indoctrination. Number 5, bring them to the Watchtower study on Sundays to learn and feed on Watchtower provided food in due season, or organization provider instead of the Bible. So bring them to the meetings, basically. Number 6, unveil them to become kingdom publishers and to attend service meetings. Number 7, climax the entire procedure by persuading them to become baptized and initiated into the theocracy. So again, that are the 7 steps toward indoctrination. Now that they have become kingdom publishers, they are without a name, a face, or a place. They just become a cog in the machine. The witnesses cannot conceive the depths of slavery into which they have sunken. All of their individuality is now gone, and they don't even realize who they are and where they are going. They're like zombies, half dead and half alive. Their feet mechanically tread their territories, and their mouths automatically give utterance to the Watchtower slogan. He says, back then it would be, I represent the Watchtower. I come to preach the kingdom message. I have a book to show you, and you can have it for a contribution of 50 cents to defray our publishing expenses. Nowadays, it's I represent the Watchtower. Here is a website that you can look at to find answers. It's called jw.org. Same thing, different brand. So with all their robot likeness, they are indeed dangerous. When you take publications from them, you throw an automatic switch in their mechanical minds. Their eyes light up because you are now a prospective victim. They see a chain of reactions, and you've opened their minds for you to be a return visit. When they see your home opened up for a Bible study, you and your family are exposed to a totalitarian view. You may simply take a publication that appears to be Christian just to be nice, but the witnesses are going to start calling back on you and will not let you go until you emphatically end your relationship with them, or until you become a slave just as they are. A slave, a kingdom publisher, just as they are. So be wise. The Achilles heel of the Watchtower is the composition of its feet. They are an unhappy mixture of iron and clay. That statue in the book of Daniel, the head of gold and so on and so forth, down to the feet, where the feet and the toes were a mixture of iron and clay, and that rock comes and destroys that image. He likens the feet of that image to the Watchtower Society. So he ends this chapter by saying, let my life of slavery be your warning. It took me 30 years to get free. So this is going to end this chapter. Stay tuned for the next. Thank you for taking time to watch and listen to this presentation. Post your comments, like and share this video, subscribe to my channel, and stay tuned for the next chapter.